Hey, shalom is shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, highest honor, thanks, on top of Nawa Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Harukakadash, double honor to Els, apostle of Jesus, taught me his truth. Be there, select out there. Khan, that's a brother Gabaf from Great Western Germany. Can't come back at you for a new lesson, alright? In today's lesson, we're going to the topic that, or rather said, is entitled The Duality of the Tongue, alright? Because I made a couple of months ago already a video about that your tongue can be a downfall, alright? Because as scriptures say, rough paraphrasing, the tongue is just a small member of the body, but can cause severe outcomes, okay? Your tongue can decide between life or death, right? And you see that with Moses, because what was Moses' fault, or big fault rather said? He told the nation of Israel, should I give you something again? Okay, we're paraphrasing. Instead of should the Lord give you something again? And with that, he beguiled himself. All right? If Job said what his wife wanted him to say, okay, which was which was to curse the Heavenly Father and die. This is what she said, but he didn't do it. Okay, if Yahushua would have bowed down to Satan, you wouldn't have a chance of forgiveness, of repentance. All right, all these things, man, all these things came through the tongue. Okay, but not only that, same with Samson. If he wouldn't have told his secret unto the Philistinian woman, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, should be. Then he wouldn't have, died. From the Philistines. You see? Then he wouldn't have died. Okay. All these things, man, were in the end the downfall of great men. But today, I don't want to go to that topic. I want to go to the topic. What is it saying in the book of Proverbs? Okay, chapter 15, verse 1. And it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Okay. And that's what I really saw today again. Today I was coaching again, right? I coach a youth football team. You be a little bit, talking shit with the players, so to speak. You talk with them a little bit. Like the regular thing. They talk shit back, all fun and games. But then there came a situation. I wasn't even talking shit. I was just like, vetoing basically something. And the dude completely lost it, you see? So in that case, it wasn't even, for him it was grievous words, Because when we go to the word grievous, it says what? It says pain, hurt, toils, sorrow, labor, hardship. Age 60, 89, But it wasn't even meant it wasn't even like my fault because, he had things going on the outside. But it was just like with me, being considered basically of the other players. I don't even want to go too much into that topic because that just influenced me to do that video. But to give you the full perspective, it's like a rule: don't ask, to go into the game. Don't ask if you gotta be put in the coach put you in. We're talking about football right now. You see, but he kept on asking once, and second off, there are other players, and there was no need for him to go in. You see, it's just because he wanted to go in, which is not a problem. But don't come the whole time. But neither here or there. The point is, that the words that I said with vetoing, with saying no, was grievous unto him and stirred him up to anger. The dude was really like mad, got tight, started crying things, he little boy, 14, But they just show me really that words, really can fuck with people, Not even on them that I said I really was cutting them. Or to him I was cutting them, yeah. But for me, I was just like, no, man. They're different players. There's no need. And don't ask all the time. Be patient. If it's your time, it's your time. You will get in. You see? There's two. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Yeah. You see? And there's also a thing. If you're like in a conflict, okay? Because what does verse 1 say again? A soft answer turneth for wrath. You see? So if you see somebody who's at wrath right now, don't match the energy. Just stay cool, calm, and collected. How you actually should always be. Cool, calm, and collected. Just chill. Just calm down, man. Calm down. You see? Because if you then answer, it turneth away their anger because they be like, wait a second. Actually, why I'm so furious right now, man? Let me calm down, man. Let me chill. Let me let me breathe for a second. And it has especially when you talk with brothers, man. If the brother maybe in a rah-rah mode and you match a rah-rah mode, you just keep on going up, man. And that's not how we should move in the brotherhood, which is which is basically the point. Because just, if let's be back to the brotherhood, man. Of course we have emotions. Of course we act on emotions, okay? And we try not to, we try to control our emotions. But in those situations of conflict, it's very important, man, that when you see that the one side is not controlling their emotions, it's really yelling on a rah-rah, really emotional, bro, stay calm, okay? Don't yell. Don't match the energy. And yes, easier said than done. And yeah, you will fall. And yeah, you will slip up. But it is important that you be mindful of that, okay? Because, you should what? You should be not oriented to be right. You should be oriented to, solve the matter. This way your focus should be in, okay? It should lie in. Khan. That's the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 15, and it says, by long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. You see, and when we read in NLT, it says, patience can persuade the prince. A soft speech can break bones. Yeah, okay. With patience can a prince be persuaded, And a prince is like a figurative sense for like a leading position. Okay? If you have, for example, like a strategy. Because this is, or let me say like this, where I also saw it really like crazy. Let me just see how the anime is called again. Because I'll be watching the anime right now, right? So like, yeah. It's called Nippon Zangoku, okay? The Three Nations of the Red Sun. And there's the main character, man. You gotta understand like this. Basically the setting of the anime is, it's like Japan after post-apocalyptic war, okay? And it's like the Chinese China was back in the day with the like like the three nations of China, in the three different dynasties like that. You see? But that here or there, the main character is like living on the outskirts, he has there like his people, it's like a village, and they live in there. He got his wife, and then like people from the emperor come there like do their inspections, but they're like wicked as shit. They're like corrupt. They exploit the people and all that. And his wife, because they got like in a girl boss thing, she intervenes for one time, and then the next thing, she like intervenes the officer, but then he snitches on her. It has like the inner minister, or like the not inner minister, that's German, basically the chancellor. Is there also, but and he lied on her and said she called the chancellor fat, and then he beheads her, and the dude like 15 and the wife 16. So the next morning, dude wakes up, goes outside, looks for his wife. Then the chancellor told him, yeah, your wife was beheaded for treason, basically. And he was inside, the inside monologue kicks in, is like, man, let me grab the sword from the officer who stands right next to him and behead the guy. But what he do, but you know, but what he's doing is not that. He was all furious in his mind. You know, was really envisioning how he slaughters everybody there. But he said, that makes no sense. If I slaughter him right now, I get killed too, and somebody else in his stead will rise up, who's even as worse, if not even worse. Okay? So what he doing? But he flips that shit, but that's crazy. The dude who snitched, who basically got his wife like killed, you know, he basically said, my wife never called you a Chancellor fat. He made the implication by it because she just called somebody fat, but she didn't say the Chancellor is fat. And then he flipped the script. Dude got beheaded. Basically, the Chancellor was like, yeah, you read, yada, yada, yada. And then the story really, you know, it was just like the prologue. Then the story really takes off. And what you saw there, he could have just gone a rah-rah, was yelling, no. He was just cool, calm, collect, and stay in the fact that she never called him specifically fat. Of course, she was implying him, but she never said it, so he had no, you know. So it was open for room for interpretation, you know. But I just tell you to show you what he did. For example, in that case, was in front of a position of power, breaking down the matter, and was patient. And the dude who was basically the fire who kindled his wife's death, he got him killed already. And for the Chancellor's head, he's coming right now. This is what the story's talking about. Okay? Khan. Verse 18, jumping down. A man that bore false witness against his neighbor is a maul, and a sword, and a sharp arrow. You see, when we go into the word maul, it says what? H4650. A mallet, a maul, a breaker. Mayfeets. You see? For example, mallet, maul. No? Is a breaker. Khan. Reading the NLT says, telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an axe, wounding them with a sword, or shooting them with a sharp arrow. Yeah, because you get them killed, basically. Okay? You get them to die. You see? That's why it's so important that we don't lie. That if you're unsure on a fact, in a matter, say that. Be honest. Okay? Come. And also, when you're sure about something, tell the truth. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 18, and it says, it's like 18. There is that speaketh like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. You see? Then you see the really duality of a tongue. You know, your tongue can be piercing as a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health, you see? But don't get it twisted. The tongue of the wise can also pierce like a sword, man. Look at Yahushua the Pharisees, bruh. He cut them up. He cut them up so bad. He put so much light on the darkness that he eventually got killed for that. Nah, not killed, murdered. Okay? Khan. That's why this tongue is very strong. You know, part, even though it's small, it's very, very strong, man. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 18. And it's, a wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger, a piece of strife. You see? That's what I said before, man. In a conflict, in a, you know, in a argument with a brother. Say, cool, calm, collected. There's no need, you know, to go on a rah-rah too, man. Because with that, you're not appeasing him. You're just getting him more fired up. And eventually getting yourself fired up. And you know what they say. In the twinkle of an eye, man. In the twitch of an eye. When the fury takes too much, man, you could kill somebody. Okay? Because you get You're not thinking no more. And you don't want to slay your brother, man. To take it to the extreme. Okay? Proverbs chapter 16 verse 24. Pleasant words are as in honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. You see? Be kind to one another. You know? I don't want to say nice because the word nice, we go to the word nice means foolish. But be supportive of one another. Lift each other up. Be a real brother, man. Show love, compassion. You know, also, man, if somebody fucking up, be truthful and honest to him too, man. Because Proverbs chapter 10 verse 11 says what? The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. You see? Is a well of life. Yeah, because he corrects you also. He's not only telling you what you're doing good, no, also where you're fucking up. Because the parts where you're fucking up, they can get you killed. You see? And if brother don't, correcting you on what you're doing wrong, hey man, that's not a good thing, man, because you should be straight up and honest to each other. Correcting each other about what we're doing wrong, where we're going off. Alright? Come. Salakia, give me a second. Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 23. And it says, Salakia, 21 verse 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. Yeah, and why is that? Because he not talking too much. He not talking about matters or facts that he doesn't know nothing about. He doesn't talk about things out of his ass. He doesn't talk about things that he's not to be meant to be talked about. And he's also someone who's not into troubles and bullshit because he's not talking too much or talking trash, for example, to the wrong people. You know, like I did, what I give at the beginning, for example. I learned my lesson, man. Year after that won't happen again. Because I know now, they can take it. Come. So we'll go James chapter 3. Let me just check. Give me a second, Babak Shah. Yeah, let's read that. There's the book of James chapter 3. Verse 5. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasts of great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on a fire on fire of hell. You see? This shows you really puts emphasis on how great the tongue is, man. The tongue really can put you in so much misery if you don't keep it, if you don't watch it, if you don't tame it, okay? Because when you jump down to verse 9, it says what? Therewith bless we Yahweh, even the Father, and therewith we curse men, which are made after the similitude of Yahweh. You see? Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. You see, and this does not go, that doesn't mean that it's not right, to correct somebody, you know, to curse somebody out, to correct somebody. All right, this is not what it means, because when we start up, let me just double check. Yeah, verse 7. For every kind of beasts and birds, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea, is tamed, and have been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. You see? And then it goes into, out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and curse, my brethren. These things ought not to be so. Because then it says, doeth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive? Talakia. Talakia. Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries? Either a vine figs, either a vine fig, either vine Talakia, either vine figs. So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness and wisdom. You see? So it goes into the topic that you should watch your mouth, okay? Watch what you say. Because out of the mouth proceedeth a blessing and cursing. Because you can curse yourself with your mouth, but also you can bless yourself with your mouth. So watch out what you say. All right? Khan, that's all I got. I hope this was edifying. I want to give once again all praise, glory, highest honor, and thanks unto Abanawa Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahshai Ba'asham, Haruk HaKadosh, double answer, else apostle, GMS, taught me his truth. Peace, I taste select out there. Till next time, Shalom.